Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Thank you very much for this opportunity in our ESSRAK second annual Virtual International Research Conference. Let me start by saying that we thank God for giving us another opportunity for our conference. And may I start by also saying that research is a gift from God, who is the source of all good things, in accordance to what we read in James 1 and verse 17, that he is the source of all good things, and research is one of them. We can use our intellect to explore the physical world and make discoveries that improve our living conditions. And this one is a wonderful thing, and it is also biblical, because when we read in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 28, it says that human beings are to subdue the earth. And this one definitely, it would certainly include learning how to harness nature for the benefit of mankind. Now, God created the intricate neural network and cognitive powers of the brain so that man could think, learn, and even do. And therefore, these intellectual powers and mental faculties are, in fact, a talent that God requires that men should develop. By virtue of the fact that God has given man the ability to think, learn, and do, we must assume that the practice of research, which clearly requires and involves critical and in-depth thinking, learning, and doing, is not only an acceptable activity for man, but also that it is endorsed by God himself. Now, the way that the Bible uses words that we know, such as studying, because the Bible uses the words study, searching, knowing, considering, and even perceiving. This is a suggestion that the practice of research is not only an appropriate activity for men, but it is actually promoted by God himself. Allow me, before we pray, to just say that when I was looking at the Bible, particularly on the research in education and social sciences, I found that it is very biblical, and I want to give just one example of a man of God that is called Moses. And we read about Moses in Acts of the Apostles, chapter 7, verse 20 to 22. May I read that? And it says, "At that time Moses was born, and he was no ordinary child. For 3 months he was cared for by his family. When he was placed outside, Pharaoh's daughter took him and brought him up as her own son." Moses, and this is what I want us to underline, Moses was educated in all the wisdom of the Egyptians and was powerful in speech and action. So therefore, Moses was educated in all the wisdom of the Egyptians and was powerful in speech and action. This education, I believe, served Moses well when he started to help administer the civil laws and the courts for the nation of Israel. He also acted as judge for the people. And therefore, we see the science, law, architecture, writing, history, mathematics, and other disciplines all must have come in handy for the dealings that Moses had with Israel and in the wilderness. Remember the building of the tabernacle, the writing of the laws and courts that Moses did, the sanitation laws, and so on, would have been next to impossible if Moses had not been highly educated. And therefore, I'm saying and suggesting that our endeavor as ESSRAK is biblically correct. And I would like us to pray and thank God for this opportunity of having the second ESSRAK virtual conference, and this time in collaboration with Zetech University and Rift Valley Reading Association. Let us pray as we begin this conference today, so that God can continue to guide us. Let us pray. Father in heaven, we come before you with thanksgiving in our hearts. We want to give you glory and honor for carrying us through from last year to this point in time when we have this second ESSRAK conference, which is virtual, and indeed in collaboration with Zetech University and the Rift Valley Reading Association. We want to thank you so much, God Almighty, for the organization. Thank you for the team that has been, Heavenly Father, even spending sleepless nights trying to organize that we have a good conference this time. And I want to commit them to your able hands and pray that you bless them. And bless this work, God Almighty, by giving us a very, very good conference today. We want to thank Heavenly Father for every presentation that is going to be made. We want to pray, Heavenly Father, for every paper that is going to be presented today. Heavenly Father, out of this, we know that, God, you're going to use our research, Heavenly Father, to meet our people at the right points of their needs, because we know that research is biblical. We know that you are concerned with it. Heavenly Father, that you may meet your people at the points of their needs. We want to thank you for this conference. We want to pray for a good beginning and a good ending. We want to pray that, Heavenly Father, you're going to benefit out of it today and in the days to come. Therefore, Heavenly Father, we invite your presence. In your presence, we gain your favor. In your presence, we gain your peace and become distinct from all the other people. And Heavenly Father, therefore, we commit our lives to you. Use us and glorify your name through our lives. And this is our prayer now. In the name of God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. The Chair ESSRAK, Dr. John Kamau Gadi, to welcome participants here. Dr. Ari.
Thank you, Dr. Karanja.
Thank you.
I want to welcome everybody who is attending the conference. And this is my welcome speech to all of us. Our distinguished guests, led by Professor Njenga Munene, Vice Chancellor, Zetech University, the conference keynote speaker, Professor Rotimi Ogidan, Director, National Open University of Nigeria, McCarthy Study Center, the conference evaluator, Professor Dankit Nasuma, Vice Chancellor, Africa International University, participants, members, and the Secretariat. Today marks yet another milestone in the life of Education and Social Sciences Research Association of Kenya, ESSRAK. As the second international research conference opens, it fills me with pride to note the dedication and enthusiasm portrayed by members and our researchers in this exercise. Indeed, this conference provides researchers with a platform where they can disseminate their research findings and an atmosphere in which their research conceptualizations, designs, findings, conclusions, and recommendations are critically evaluated and critiqued. I am looking forward to the bar being raised even higher. I take this opportunity to welcome all our guests and participants. The conference is a very loud echo of the main reason why ESSRAK was established: to promote ethical and good practices in research, both for experienced and budding researchers. To all who helped us make this step, I wish to express my utmost gratitude on behalf of ESSRAK fraternity. ESSRAK first came into existence to help address a very worrying trend where upcoming researchers were progressively.
Kindly chair the conference, Professor, if you can take over.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to continue from where Dr. Gadi has stopped. ESSRAK first came into existence to help address a very worrying trend where upcoming researchers were progressively seeking help from an accredited sources posing as consultants to assist them in their research journeys during their postgraduate studies. Some could have their research thesis and projects done for them by the so-called consultants. The main objective then was to bring together experienced scholars, researchers, and thesis examiners to facilitate the acquisition by members as well as our postgraduate candidates appropriate attitudes, knowledge, and skills required to carry out ethical research and dissemination of findings. It is from the advice of these associating scholars that ESSRAK expanded its objectives to include A, to facilitate and disseminate knowledge about educational and social sciences research and practice; B, to encourage high standards in the study, the practice, and preparation of educational and social sciences research; C, to foster just and equitable programs and participation in education and social science research across Kenya; D, to foster close links and exchanges, organize and support national, regional, and international conferences in order to promote understanding and collaboration on various aspects of education and social sciences research and practice; E, to establish respective inter-area and intra networks for expert education and social sciences researchers, doctoral and early career research scholars; F, to mentor the youth into education and social sciences research practice. Go down, Dr. Karanja. These scholars have been instrumental in the ongoing restructuring of the ESSRAK journals, namely Journal of Education and Practices, JEPS, ISSN number 2117-5444, International Journal of Business Management and Processes, IJBMP, ISSN number 2616-3209, and the Journal of Humanities and Social Sciences, ISSN number 2708504X. The journals are continuously seeking to adopt the best universally recognized educational and publishing practices, recruiting experienced and independent scholars or researchers in editorial boards, as well as adoption of strict peer review mechanisms to ensure research publications that meet the highest standards. So far, ESSRAK has managed to bring together research experts from the universities and industries around the world, as well as early career researchers and postgraduate candidates. It is from this growing pool of members and participants that it was possible to prepare and actualize the current International Research Conference. I wish you all a successful scholarly engagement and God's blessings as we voyage forward to a world that will be shaped by what we do today. Signed by Dr. John Gathi Kamau, PhD and Chair, ESSRAK. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Onderi, for coming in. I think we lost Dr. Gathi. That is a welcome address, and we just want to move on. The next thing on the program is on goodwill messages from our friends, the friends of ESSRAK. And we want to start with Dr. Muganda. I don't know whether she's in. Mama Pedro, are you in? When she comes over, we shall give her an opportunity to give us a goodwill message. We can move on to Dr. Mary Ooko from University of Pretoria. Dr. Ari, are you in?
Yes, yes, Dr. Ari, I'm in.
Very well, very well, very well, very well, very well. Karibu sana, Dr. Mary Ooko. She is the manager, the unit for distance education, University of Pretoria. A very warm lady, a key pillar in distance education. Dr. Ari, karibu, give us your goodwill message. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Dr. Karanja. Let me try and see if I can project my screen. See, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see.
Yes, I recognize the fact that
Yes,
I have 5 minutes. I have 5 minutes, so I will not go through the entire presentation. But let me start by...
Expand it, Dr. Aris. Slideshow.
Yes. Let me start by greeting everybody. Good morning, colleagues. I bring you greetings from the Dean, Faculty of Education, University of Pretoria. I also bring you greetings from my colleagues from the Unit for Distance Education at the University of Pretoria. Congratulations to ESSRAK upon convening their second ESSRAK International Conference. I respect small beginnings. I myself was a small beginner. My journey in higher education began in the year 2008 with a class of 2 students. I was assigned to teach 2 students at African Nazarene University. At that time, my salary was 10,000 shillings per month for teaching 2 students. My maid was earning more than I did. But I respected that small beginning, and I committed to my work. Within just a year, I found myself heading the Department of Education. So I see ESSRAK's small beginning. It is not really small because within the platform, I'm seeing over 50 participants. So you've started well. And I am hoping that maybe in another 2-3 years, we'll be seeing hundreds and thousands, and ESSRAK will be attracting membership from the international world. Let us be encouraged and continue producing research that is transforming our nation and the world. Let us not be researchers that produce research for our CVs. I myself did not get grounded in research as I was training. And for that reason, I always live with the regrets that I did not get a chance to learn excellent research tactics, excellent research strategies. However, I think the Lord heard my cry, and in 10 years, having moved through different institutions, I landed at the University of Pretoria as the manager for the Unit for Distance Education. The University of Pretoria is a research-intensive university. And UP, as we fondly call it, has created an enabling environment for researchers to thrive. The Department of Research and Innovation provides support to all researchers and research officers. And it's important to know that at our university, every faculty has a research office. And every department has a research office. And every unit, even my unit, has a researcher who assists me with all my research work for the unit. So the University of Pretoria depends on the outcome of its research from its intellectuals to develop the university. Our university is constantly evolving. I am happy to be where I am, and for me, it's a blessing. The Unit for Distance Education is located within the Faculty of Education. And this unit was created in response to the call by the government to ask universities to upskill teachers. Immediately after independence, the Republic of South Africa recognized that there were very many teachers in the field, but they needed to be upskilled. A lot of them were not trained, a lot of them were untrained teachers or just had basic certification for teaching. So the Unit for Distance Education was created to upskill these teachers, and we are located within the Faculty of Education. We serve students from humanities in education, science, mathematics, and technology education department. We also serve education management and faculty policy studies, and we serve students from early childhood education and students from educational psychology department. The core functions of the Unit for Distance Education includes strategic planning, financial management, contract management, because I hire my own workers, contact session management, quality assurance. I have a quality assurance office that oversees everything to do with quality, examination administration, students and facilitators, pedagogical and technological support. We provide ongoing training. And we are also the host of the new TED-FLAIR journal, Teacher Education Through Flexible Learning journal, which is being hosted at the University of Pretoria. We also are the managers of the Data Conference, Distance Education and Teacher Training in Africa. Data Conference was started more than 15 years ago, and the conference brings together distance education practitioners from all over the world every 2 years. The last one was held in August this year, and we brought participants from all over the world. We had participants from Japan, we had participants from China, from Kenya. We had a big group from Kenya. We had a group from Canada, UK, Portugal. It is and different countries in Africa. It is just a conference that keeps on growing stronger and stronger. Right now, we are looking for the next country to take Data Conference in 2023. And we are hoping that we will be able to partner with ESSRAK in conducting the Data Conference of 2023. Thank you. I will not go into details of what we do. I've already mentioned our function. It's a very efficiently run unit. I recognize I have 5 minutes, but just briefly, on a day-to-day basis, my job includes processing the students' application, organizing contact sessions because we run a hybrid program, communication with students through the call center, and I have different people who had these areas, and preparation of study material and administration booklets for students, assignment administration and examination administration. Our cycle runs like this. Each semester is 6 months. The first semester begins in October and goes up to March. The second semester begins in April and goes up to 30th of September. Now, right now, we are only offering 2 programs. We are only running 2 programs. And you will not believe it, but with these 2 programs, we are serving 3,500 students. The unit for distance education actually one time thrived so much that at one time they had 20,000 students. The unit was started in the year 2002. So in 2019, I received a call from the University of Pretoria asking me to come and help turn around the unit. So far, we have moved all our practices online due to the pandemic. So all these things that we do, we have moved them all online, and our students are able to do their exams online. All pedagogical activities are done online. And we give our students a chance to pass. We support them to pass. And therefore, the way we examine them is through assignments, assignment 1, 2, and 3. I'm just about to finish, Dr. Karanja. Our assessment is made, our aim is to make it possible for all students to succeed. So when they fail, we give them another chance. We give them 2 more chances to repeat their courses. I want to say that we also collaborate with other scholarly organizations. We partner with NADEOSA, the National Association for Distance Education of Southern Africa, DEASA, ACDE, African Council for Distance Education, CALL, Commonwealth of Learning, and ICDE, International Council for Distance Education. And I included ESSRAK there and put a question mark. Are we going to collaborate? Would you like to work along with people like us? If so, please get back to us because we are ready to collaborate with forward-thinking organizations like yours, people who want to transform their nation through research, people who want to transform the world through research, and people who are passionate about mentoring and coaching young researchers to become like them. We thank you very much. I thank you very much for inviting me. I want to wish you the best in your conference today, and good luck to all of you. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for the opportunity. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mary Oko. We recognize that University of Pretoria is a lead university in terms of research, and we shall be ready to cooperate. In ESSRAK, we have great scholars, great researchers, so we shall be following that. Karibu sana. Thank you so much. Thank you. We are moving on well, participants. I know Dr. Muganda has just joined us. Mama Pedo, are you in?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you, and welcome so much. Actually, we have just begun the session on goodwill messages. You have to start, and now I want to give you this opportunity. Dr. Muganda Beatrice is a Deputy Director and Director Higher Education Program, PASGAL, Partnership for Partnership for African Social and Governance Research. We fondly refer to her as Mama Pedo. She will tell us what Pedo is all about. But one thing about her is that she's a warm lady who has transformed the teaching in higher education in Africa and beyond. Mama Pedo, karibu.
Thank you. The leadership of ESSRAK, distinguished scholars, good morning. It gives me really great pleasure to join you this morning for the second annual virtual international research conference. I want to say that PASGA has enjoyed a fruitful collaboration with the Education and Social Sciences Research Association of Kenya. I am delighted to see that ESSRAK is expanding its collaborations and welcome this joint research conference co-hosted in collaboration with Zetech University and the Rift Valley Reading Association. I was also delighted to learn that you're taking your roots down south. And as you know, we are collaborating with the University of Pretoria. So we really are interconnected. Indeed, the strength of any association lies in building a strong network and drawing on the resources within that network. The ideas, knowledge, expertise, equipment, and facilities. We had the special honor to contribute to enhancing the capacity of ESSRAK members through the Pedagogical Leadership in Africa program, PEDAL. As you know, dear colleagues, PEDAL is an innovative program for enhancing the capacities of academics in teaching and learning and in using online technology to enhance the learning outcomes of students. And so we have worked together to move from majorly conventional pedagogies to deploying innovative pedagogies such as simulations, case studies, threshold concept tools, and use other affordances of technology to collaborate, like the Jamboards, like the wikis, the discussion forums, the chat rooms. And the learning experience has been very satisfying. The feedback we've gotten from colleagues throughout the continent, right from South Africa, all the way to Sierra Leone. We have Rwanda, Ethiopia, Malawi, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Nigeria, Ghana, all through. The feedback has been consistently 98% satisfaction with PEDAL. And we wouldn't be where we are if it was not for your support, if it was not for members of this association breathing life in these ideas of PEDAL and working with us, stretching their hands to connect with other colleagues across the continent to push the transformation wave higher and higher. And particularly for ESSRAK members, it is gratifying to note that academics in this association are deploying their enhanced capacities to deliver exceptional learning moments in their classrooms, optimize student learning outcomes, and empower the future generation, and also to generate the knowledge that will drive our society to the next level. As an organization, PASGA, we are committed to working with ESSRAK to explore opportunities that take our shared interest of co-creating and using knowledge to transform our society to the next level. Towards this end, ladies and gentlemen, this momentous scientific conference is a major landmark. It has a critical role to play. I thank you for your commitment to advancing knowledge generation and gathering here today to share your findings. I wish you a very successful conference. I thank you all.
Wow. Thank you so much, Beatrice Daktari. Your words are always music to our ears. As ESSRAK, we benefited so much from your generosity. You know that ESSRAK draws members from universities and industry. And we have all now become better teachers because of PASGA. Thank you so much, and we're happy for you being here. Thank you. We want to move on, great people. Now we want to move to the third person to give a keynote address, and that is Madam Margaret Muthiga, the President of Rift Valley Reading Association, a motherly lady who believes that if you're not careful, the reading culture will be wiped out of the world map. But she's working very hard to see that we retain that reading culture. President Margaret, are you in?
Yes, I am.
Kindly.
Thank you, Dr. Karanja, Vice Chancellors, Deputy Vice Chancellors, key speakers, professors, members of academia, presenters, all protocols observed. My name is Margaret Muthiga, the President of Rift Valley Reading Association, RVRA. Let me take this opportunity to welcome each one of you to this conference, and I assure you that you are going to enjoy and you will not go back home the same. Rift Valley Reading Association is 7 years old, and we are proud to report that we are equipped to keep moving and never look back. We are a registered entity by Kenya government and chartered by International Literacy Association, ILOA. Rift Valley Reading Association has a number of activities. One, mentorship program, literacy. It encourages reading as a precursor to a child's wholesome development, such as intellectual, social, and psychological developments. We work with both boys and girls of between age 9 and 18. It is not only reading per se, but also artwork and creative writing, which help children to create stories that will enable them to be publishers of their own storybooks. Lecturers from Egerton University are the mentors that spearhead her story initiative project, and we have 12 schools with about 250 children today. Another activity is library development. RVRA is recognized by International Association of School Libraries, IASL, and AFRA, Africa Library Association, and the Kenya National Library Services. We currently have an education public library in Njolo, and we need to expand all over the Rift Valley region. Conferences and workshops. These are the backbone for literacy development by training teachers, helping them to enrich their life skills, language skills, and educating them in the ways of making the child remain at school. Research projects. RVRA, through Egerton University staff, has established a research program in order to help us to develop the needs of our children in the region. These are targeted to the minority groups and the needy children in our communities. Thank you. environmental programs, planting fruit trees like avocados, as a project has been initiated by our mentors, our teachers, and pupils in their particular schools. This is for the nutritional value to our children and also to help bring income to our clubs. Rift Valley Reading Association has achieved much in the education area. A reading culture has been created. This year we participated in the World Guinness Book of Record for the largest number of people reading at the same time in June. Impressive national examination performance by our children has been experienced. 2 children represented the Rift Valley Reading Association in the United Nations Women's Forum as speakers in 2020 and this year of 2021. Mentors and teachers have experienced new literary management skills, and they have also been giving back the knowledge to the community. I can assure you, and now I know that working with children is a noble thing to do. And I invite every one of you to join RVA to work with us for the betterment of the children tomorrow. How can you join RVA? A link is being shared in the chat window right now, giving you the details on how to join this reading movement. We are also active on social media. Follow us and like us, like our pages, see the beautiful work our transformation of the lives of the children is doing. Ladies and gentlemen, the ESSRAK research, thematic areas to be covered in these conferences are education, business, humanities, and social sciences. We expect insightful papers from different participants during this conference. The world is here to listen to your ideas and your individual experiences. As Rift Valley Reading Association, we are here to promote a reading culture. Because today a reader, tomorrow you become a leader. I wish to thank fellow collaborators, especially those who have been organizing this conference, who have come together to ensure that it succeeds and its success reaches to as many educators and mostly to the children that we are serving. Thank you so much. Long live ESSRAK conference. Long live researchers and long live researchers in our institutions. God bless you and thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, President Margaret Muthaiga. We recognize the good work you're doing. We all know that reading is very important, even to us researchers. We are moving on. I want to welcome Professor Jane Kerubo. Professor Jane, I know you are around.
Yes, thank you.
Kindly, karibu sana, Professor Kerubo.
Thank you very much. I'm also excited to be part of this meeting. I want to share a screen. I know the time is not on our side. I bring you greetings from North America. It is 2:45 a.m. in Ottawa, Canada, where I'm speaking from. By chance, this conference happened when I was visiting. And as you may have read, I have served as a former deputy head of mission in this country. And I'm very grateful to my friend, Professor Henry Onderi, for inviting me to join these great minds. And I'm looking forward to a very engaging discussion. I hope I will remain awake. I'm still operating on Kenyan time since I arrived here yesterday. So I want to share with us part of the experience that I have had in Canada when I served for 4 years. And this is a topic that I want to introduce to us as ESSRAK, establishing academic linkages between higher education institutions in Canada and Kenya, opportunities and challenges. I'm sure you know that there is a rich resource in terms of the diaspora who exist and who can be good partners as we endeavor to do research and even encourage a reading culture. I wonder if you are able to see my slides. Are you?
Yeah, you can see.
Okay.
Yes, we are seeing that.
Okay, okay. So briefly, 5 minutes is not a long time to give this presentation, but I'll try. I want to begin by saying why we need these academic linkages. We know that higher education has expanded rapidly in the recent years, but more importantly now, we are thinking about the COVID and post-COVID era. So why do we need international linkages? There are a number of reasons. To improve our students' preparedness in this era, we have also known that there has been internationalization of the curriculum. We want to enhance our institutional profiles, and I'm glad to note that everybody here, most people are affiliated to institutions. Again, the universities are likely to benefit from this establishment of international linkages. We will increase international awareness of our students. We will also be able to strengthen research and knowledge production, foster an international cooperation and solidarity. We know that even in academia, these days you get research funding as a result of being in partnerships. There have been statistics showing how universities have increased or developed in Kenya. I know you know all about that. Most importantly, the institutional or academic linkages are likely to benefit our postgraduate students who have also been increasing in number. We know that our universities in Kenya and Africa in general experience a number of challenges, including inadequate funding, inadequate human resource, and we have had challenges. A number of universities are now not able to pay their staff, and this is causing a number of unrest in universities. Now, what are the opportunities that I want us as ESSRAK to tap into? There is a large pool of expertise existing among Kenyans or even Africans academics in Canada who have established networks that can result in greater benefits to Kenyan universities. There is also goodwill both from Kenyan and Canadian governments in the area of expanding university education, as we read in various policy documents, and these exist. And the rapid expansion of universities, the numbers, all these are giving as opportunities that can help us establish these academic linkages. But you know, I know some of you have been aware about this CODESRIA-run African Academic Diaspora Support Program to African universities, which offers many opportunities. I can see that some of us in ESSRAK can serve as college mentors. You can also partner in research and so on. There could be possible challenges in that partnership, but we don't want to dwell on that now. So the areas that I see, we have an opportunity as ESSRAK, we could use our contacts and establish a database of all Kenyan academics in the diaspora. I'm talking about Canada. I tried to establish that database when I was serving here. We can also do academic publishing and co-authoring journal articles, books, and also organizing such conferences as this. Research collaborations is an area we can think about. Teaching and mentoring of postgraduate students via teleconferencing. And here now with this technology, I'm thinking about co-supervision and the periodic meetings to discuss issues of mutual concern and benefit. So in brief, my goodwill message to us today is that we can tap into this resource in terms of academic linkages, and a number of benefits are likely to benefit. I like the speaker that said, I think it's Mary Alka, who said, start small, and we can entice a few of the people we know who serve or work in the diaspora and seek to partner with us. So briefly, I want to wish you very well and a good conference, and I look forward to learning a lot from you. Thank you very much, and have a good conference.
Thank you so much, Prof, for that good message. We are grateful. We are going to take those opportunities. Professor is also a champion of integrity. Thank you so much. We want to move on. Now our next good message comes from a friend in Open University of Sri Lanka, Mr. Ravadrin Vivekanatharasa. Kindly get on it, Vivek.
Yeah. Good morning, sir, and good morning, all of you.
Morning.
I hope it's a very nice day to all of you with this international conference. First of all, I would like to thank everyone in this conference, especially Dr. Karanchia and Professor Kentry, to all of you for inviting me to deliver my goodwill speech on this great conference, ESSRAK, second annual conference in Kenya. So all the participants and all eminent speakers. So thank you very much, all of you, and I hope it's a great day. So I think within this limited 5 minutes, I can share my presentation with a short message. Let me to share it. So can you see my presentation, sir?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, thank you very much. So with that, you know that Mr. Ravindran Vivekanatharasa, lecturer, Faculty of Education, the Open University of Sri Lanka. So my Open University, you know, like it's an ODL. We are following the open distance learning system in Sri Lanka. It's one of the famous university in Sri Lanka. So I hope in future we can collaborate with many things, especially with the research activities. So I will work on that definitely. That's my plan. So with that, my university, you know that more than 50,000 students following the various programs, even international students. Yesterday also I had a meeting with a student from Belgium. So they are willing to follow some program in my university. They came and meet me, and I had a conversation with them. So with that, you know that my university is especially focusing on that with academic activities, even research activities, and future collaboration and the partnership with various organizations in this world. And you know that especially what we are following that the open distance learning. So we are almost the hybrid system. We are doing that hybrid with the hybrid system. We are teaching to the students, even international students and the local students. We are taking the local students to the international environment, and international students also coming to my university and learning many things about the various aspects on the different areas. And you know, my university was started in 1980 in Sri Lanka with that 6 faculties. Recently we started that management studies, faculty of management studies, with that education, natural science, engineering, technology, health science, and humanities and social science. So I am from the faculty of education. The faculty of education is the one of the first and leading faculty in the Open University of Sri Lanka. So institute, we have different institutes with the faculties, affiliated institutes. Postgraduate Institute of English, and Center for Educational Technology and Media, Center for Environmental Studies and Sustainable Development, Center for Quality Assurance, Gender Equality and Equity, it's a foundation of academic unit. So with that research activities, we are almost connected, and we have very broad mindset and broad vision and mission with the research activities, and we are doing so many researches. In future we can collaborate with that. So that vision and mission is very important in our research activity, and we have a research unit also. With the research unit, we are getting the fund, and we are doing many researches, international and local researches. And future collaboration, definitely we can have a future collaboration. I will work on that. We have an international relations unit in my university that is working for the future collaboration with various international organizations, universities and institutes. So that IRU, definitely I have already discussed with them. So with ESSRAK and the future collaboration, they will definitely have some ideas, and they will call for a meeting, something. I will work on that. So this IRU unit will definitely help us to have an international collaboration in my university. So with that IRU, their perspectives and their aims and objectives are very different. So you can read that. I think I don't have much time to explain everything. So with this all objectives and aims, and we can work on our future collaboration. Definitely that will happen. So normally at the moment we are having different collaboration with different world organizations and world international institutes, like the Commonwealth of Learning is one of the main supporting international organization of the Open University of Sri Lanka. In my country, we are having a different conferences and different programs. And AAOU, that the Asian Association of Open University is one of the very affiliated partner of the Open University of Sri Lanka. That just 2 months back, we had the international conference, annual AAU conference in Sri Lanka, virtual conference. Already we plan to have a physical conference. Unfortunately, due to this COVID pandemic, we had a virtual conference. So many participants from many Asian countries participated. And with that, the Association of Commonwealth Universities, the Commonwealth countries also having a good relationship and partnership with my universities. And with that, International Council for opening distance education, definitely we are following that distance education. So that the universities and the institutes and the organization normally following that distance mode education, also having a good relationship and a good partnership with our universities in Open University of Sri Lanka. So with these all messages, I hope ESSRAK, so one of the famous and important institute in Africa, in Kenya. So we can also contribute, and we can also have a collaboration in future. So I will work on that definitely. So that's
thank you.
Message. Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you all. Wish you all the best to all the participants. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Vivek, for that good message. We, as ESSRAK, we're going to formally follow those collaborations with you and your university. Thank you so much. Participants, we are moving on well. We want now to call upon the DVC academics, Zetech University, Dr. Alice and Juguna, to give our goodwill message, as well as invite the Vice Chancellor to officially open our conference. Dr. Karibu.
Thank you so much, Daktari. Our chair, ESSRAK, our keynote speaker, Professor Ogidan, the VC of Zetech University, Professor Jenga Munene, the ESSRAK team, the Zetech team, the Rift Valley Reading Association, fellow participants, and my peers and seniors, both from the industry and from the academy, distinguished leaders, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
This morning, I want to thank ESSRAK for furthering a concept of collaborative research, because they could have chosen to go this way alone, but they remembered that when we work together, we are likely to cover a much longer distance. And also ESSRAK for reminding us that we are living in historic times. Our experiences and our actions during these times of COVID will inform future generations only if we document them clearly. The experts in social sciences and those ones in education must join hands with the ones in biological and physical sciences in carrying out useful research that will help our generation, especially in this time of an emergency. We must also remember that we have to ride on technology to ensure the creation, discovery, and dissemination of new knowledge. And that's why we are glad to know that we can still hold this conference in an online location. I can see Dr. Oko all the way from South Africa, someone from Sri Lanka, someone from Ontario, and technology is really helping us to move on. Furthermore, COVID-19, although a biological concept, had a lot of social issues. We know about social distancing, which is a social issue, and we should be doing more research on that. We know about masking. I can see some of my colleagues here. I'm able to see them, their faces here, but in the office, I don't see them because they're always in masks. And therefore, this conference is likely to touch our hearts and our lives. Now, thank you so much, ESSRAK. Congratulations for a chance for us to rethink social sciences and education. I believe that this conference will be a game changer as we review how we shall be doing research going forward. Now, at this juncture, join me in welcoming the Vice Chancellor of Zetech University, Professor Jenga Munene. Although Professor is a scientist and a vet, he has proven to be an administrator, an educator, and a researcher par excellence, showing that boundaries across disciplines are just as imaginary as the equator in our minds. Welcome, Professor, to give your remarks and to open the conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam DVC. I hope I'm clear. Can I be heard?
Very clear, Prof.
Thank you very much. ESSRAK organizing team, the DVC, Zetech University, the many international participants who I can see in the list, the Rift Valley Reading Association, for which I'm very, very proud. I'm a Sunday school teacher, so when people are interested in the interest of kids, my heart swells with pride and joy. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to this meeting again. I'm not the organizer, but you honored me with opening this meeting. But for me before I open, I want to give a little bit of hindsight of how Zetech University managed COVID-19 and successfully withered the problem of closure. Nobody is alive and in a state of mind that can tell us what happened between 1918 and 1922, when the last major flu, the Spanish flu, occurred. And therefore, as managers of institutions, we were running on the job. We were running how to respond to COVID-19 without any reference. Nobody will tell you this is what we did. The only thing we knew that people wore masks and people isolated. And many may not know that the word Karatina, which is a town in Kenya, is actually made from the word quarantine. Karatina is, the Kikuyu corrupted the name quarantine to Karatina. So, and it was around that time that actually Karatina became a town because it was a quarantine center. And one of the things we did, members, is that when the president closed the universities and learning institution on 15th, on 16th, the university management held a meeting. And we made the following observations. One, that the president did not close learning. He closed the face-to-face learning. The second thing is that we realized that breaking our semester right at the end, because we are attending to answer exams, was going to have serious implications in terms of our students, our parents and guardians. And three, the staff and the service providers were going to lose their livelihoods. So the university management made a very drastic measure and decided that they are not going to close the university. And sincerely want to appreciate my university staff, because within one day, we were able to update our running system to handle our 7,000 concurrent learners from 1,000 concurrent learners. And this ability to transit in one day from 1,000 to 7,000 online learners made it possible for us to put our students back to class on 18th. So in exactly 3 days, we transited the university from face-to-face to online learning. I think one of the things that was advantageous is for us that in 2018-2019, we made it mandatory that every student must run an online course. Mandatory. The students had strong opposition to this, but we insisted on it. Therefore, our students had learned how to use online facilities. And the fact that we have a Zetech digital school made it very easy because most of our notes and information was online. Also, our students, most of them had smartphones and laptops, and it made it easy for them to log in and start learning. Most of our lecturers had uploaded their notes on the online platform, and we have a robust system in the Zetech digital school. The other thing is that most of our lecturers are ICT compliant, and we have little bureaucracy in the university. And therefore, we took a leap of faith, and in exactly 3 days, we started our students on online learning, updated our Moodle platform from 3.1 to 3.8. We worked closely with other organizations like Safaricom to reduce the bundle costs. And we were able to onboard 92% of our students. We requested Kenneth to support us on the video conferencing using the big blue buttons. And we also subscribed to Congo Air, WebEx. And this helped us in terms of reaching our students. The upgrading of our LMS and our ERP was crucial to our success. So although we had a little turbulence in the first week, by the second week, we were completely able to onboard our students, and we were able to do the April exams. The April break was used intensely in upgrading notes, in training staff, and training students on how to, those who had gaps. And therefore, we opened a schedule on 7th May, and the students finished their semester in August. And we held our graduation scheduled on 13th of November without fail. So what were the key lessons in this whole process? One, the state of preparedness is important when crises occur, and we should not wait for crisis for COVID-19 to occur for us to prepare to transit from face-to-face to online learning. The training continuous training of staff and students is key. And here we have knowledge ambassadors. The Zetech University have knowledge ambassadors who support our students in learning how to use online materials. And this year, if you check the report that was given by CRISC, we were rated as #1 users in the Republic of those who are using online facilities. The other thing which is important is decisiveness, because if we did not make a decision on going online, then what it would have meant is that we would have joined the other universities in closing, And then for us, you know, we survive on the quality of service that we give to our staff and students. And therefore, it was important that decisiveness for management should be firm and directional. The other thing which we learned is the value of collaboration. Us working with Safaricom, us working with Kenneth, us working with the staff, us working with the guardians, us working with the parents, us working with the students. So cross collaboration was key in that success. Then cooperation and getting buying in from staff and students and parents and guardians. And therefore, it was important that we get buying in. Globally, students still prefer face-to-face and to have college experience. However, loss of livelihoods due to COVID-19 has also put a big strain in family budgets, that making online learning acceptable because they are low cost in terms of hostels, transport, food, and other amenities that students can get at home. So social research, in my view, can be done online. And we need to evaluate the impact of teleworking, the staff output, the lockdown, the mental health, impact of supervisor and staff separation, and impact of growth of e-commerce as subjects that, to me, social research should address. I'm therefore happy that ESSRAK arranged this meeting because at the end of the day, we are using a webinar. And I was listening to the speeches from Canada, from Sri Lanka. And it also tells you that the boundaries have been cut. It is important, in my view, that social research be enhanced through technology, as we are doing now, because we don't know when is the next surge. Right now, we are not out of the woods. If you check, Europe is closed, literally. There is a huge upsurge of COVID-19 in Germany, Poland, Eastern Europe, and Russia. Russia is getting that 5,000 new cases every day. Poland is losing an average of about 300 people per day. So the issue is, even in the countries where we are, we don't know when Delta variant will change to Gamma, and then after that we end up with an Alpha variety. We don't know what exactly will happen to COVID-19. We are not out of the woods. We are still deep in the COVID-19 epidemic. So let us embrace technology as a way of life during and after COVID. Zetech is currently preparing to offer all our programs online. And I think this is the way institutions need to go. We want to welcome you as relatives and friends to join us in our experience in Zetech University, to study online, to study physically, and also to encourage ESSRAK as a meeting of academics, to encourage all institutions to embrace technology as a way of substituting face-to-face learning. One of the things that really helped us, for example, is that we developed very comprehensive teleworking guidelines. And that way, our staff were never left on their own to teach without care from the university. And therefore, we want to encourage ESSRAK as a team of like-minded people, people who are interested in reading, people who are interested in social research, people who are interested in the well-being of people, to encourage institutions to join the technology bandwagon. Because if you are left, then you'll be left alone. The only constant is change. And I want to encourage each one of us to be the ambassador of change by embracing technology. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, it is my humble duty and responsibility to officially open the ESSRAK 2021 conference and declare the meeting opened, and I want to welcome you to participate and continue in this great initiative. May God bless you. May God bless us all. May God bless ESSRAK and all the people who have been involved in preparing this great meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Makofi. Makofi for Professor. Thank you so much. The Vice Chancellor of Zetech University, very impressed by your speech, where you have told us to be ambassadors of change by embracing technology, because technology has broken the boundaries, and that it is only through collaboration that this can be achieved. Many thanks, Prof, and want to appreciate the fact that you are able to allow your team to come and plan with us this very great conference. Professor, it's because you understand the essence of research. Thank you. We shall continue collaborating with you all through. And to all the collaborators and to all those who have given the messages of goodwill, starting from Dr. Bedo, Mama Pedo, Dr. Beatrice Mugambe, Professor Chen Kerubo, way back, Dr. Oko from South Africa. And now we have had a very important message from Professor Njenga John. You, Prof, we appreciate you. At this juncture in time, I now want to take up the program to the next level. And on that note, I want to request the following, that we shall be having Professor Ogdan, Professor Rotimi Ogdan. Professor Rotimi Ogdan is from Nigeria. I hope he is now in. Professor, are you in?
Yes, I'm in.
If you are in, members, if you are allowed, I would read about Professor Ogdan, about Professor Ogdan's CV that will take me the whole of this conference time. But allow me to say Professor Ogdan is a professor in Open University of Nigeria and a director of Market Study Center. It's an academic champion and ambassador, a teacher in education and in Sub-Saharan Africa, that's TESA, and the immediate past executive director, African Council for Distance Education. Professor is widely published. Professor is widely traveled. Professor has interacted in many world conferences, and it is the professor that we invite to give a keynote address this morning. Remember, we gave him a very short notice to give this keynote address, but we appreciate that you accepted it. To all participants, we now welcome Professor Rotimi Joshua Rotimi Ogdan. Professor, welcome.
Thank you for welcoming me. And I want to say good morning to all the professors in the house. I mean, professors that are attending the second annual virtual international research conference by ESSRAK. I also want to welcome the members of the academia and practitioners in the education sector, members of the ESSRAK, ladies and gentlemen. Permit me to say good morning to you again.
Good morning, Prof.
Yes, thank you. I don't know if the PowerPoint can be projected. Thank you. Like you have been introduced, I'm Professor Rotimi Ogdan, and I'm very happy indeed to be part of this great initiative. You'll be wondering why I'm invited. I have been in Kenya for 10 years, during which I was able to do my best to ensure that I leave the country better than I met it in the area of education. The title of or the theme for this conference is Rethinking Education and Research now and in the post-COVID-19 pandemic era. As you all know, the coronavirus 2019 pandemic, christened by the World Health Organization, is a worldwide calamity. The pandemic is believed to be caused by virus that was called severe acute respiratory syndrome. And as a result of this, precautionary measures had to be taken by various countries, by individuals, by institutions. Some countries even went to the extent of declaring total lockdown. And you know, when there is lockdown, there will definitely be a problem, particularly considering the youth that we are dealing with. You know, as parents and as mentors, that youth are always very restless. They want to move. They don't believe in staying in a particular place. And most of them that are very serious in the institutions, they are always very thirsty to learn. So most institutions were thrown into confusion. But along the line, there was a saving grace. However, this saving grace, like I said, that the education sector was badly affected. This saving grace came in form of the following. It shows that face-to-face teaching and learning will have to change and give way to open distance and e-learning. And there was also an indication that there will be an eventual merger of the face-to-face and open and distance learning. There was, however, a big challenge to the education practitioners, the policymakers, to rethink the research generally, but with particular attention to the social research in the social sciences. It is obvious that institutions of learning will have to reintroduce and emphasize the innovative research that is driven by information, communication, and communication technology. Like I said, the big saving grace for the situation, terrible situation in which the whole world finds itself, and particularly our country, has shown that open and distance learning, ODL, open distance and e-learning, or which some people call virtual learning, some people call it e-learning, has to be introduced either as single mode or in blended form to support learning and teaching to continue in the society. I want you to note that whether it is called ODL or DEL, e-learning, virtual learning, they are all methods of teaching and learning with the use of technology. However, historically, the development of each of these forms, which is open and distance learning, as a method of teaching and reaching the learners who are far removed from the learning institution, has come a long way. And I have listed there the history. It started in 1905, and progressively, it has made progress the year 2000, when today we now have M-learning. Innovation in distance education has become a great option, the most reliable option, not only for COVID-19. In case there are some other issues in the future, problems or challenges in the future that will make it difficult for the learners to reach the institution, it is distance education that will be able to help to solve this problem. However, when ODL is introduced, there will be need to acquire and adopt the use of solar panel, use of satellite to ensure internet access for users in the rural communities, and also changing needs of learners in the 21st century, and dynamism and the rate of the technological development across the world. Innovation in distance education definitely is an era of the need to create jobs and promote self-employment. It's an era of the use of social media for learning, like in Skype, WhatsApp, Facebook, Hangout, Twitter, Instagram, and so on and so forth. When distance education or open and distance learning or virtual learning is introduced, there will be need to cope with the world challenge, such as both the COVID-19 issue and all other issues that may crop up in the future. Arising from all this, we have no option than to rethink the type of research now and in the future. The kind of challenges which human beings face in the society, coupled with the aspirations and influence of ICT in all areas of human needs, are the determinants of the kind of innovation that are undertaken. Innovation should therefore encompass the use of technology. It should be able to promote lifelong learning. It should enhance the acquisition of functional skills to secure or create employment in the society. It should explore the knowledge of theories to facilitate practice. It should be all-inclusive so as to be able to address the issues of gender equality with concerns for the migrant population, the displaced people, prison inmates, and women in the border. So it should be able to, research should be able to face all problems apart from COVID-19. I'm happy that the planners of this conference, they have mentioned the how to face the issue of COVID-19 now, and even how to use research in the future. So similarly, promote network among scholars to ensure that there is quality in the delivery services that will promote use of valid information and prevent plagiarism, since learners will be aware of what is done in other areas of the world. What are the challenges of rethinking our research, rethinking education? Some of the challenges are taking up the innovative leadership position. What I mean here is that individuals in the institutions, they have to take up leadership with boldness. Our professors have to be proactive. They have to emphasize how to mentor the young ones, how to bring them along. They have to involve them in all aspects of research work. Then there is also long-term sustainability of the effort that will continue to capacitate staff who are the practitioners. Most institutions do not know what ODF is. Most institutions do know what research is, but innovative research needs proper understanding. And as a result of that, staff need to be capacitated. Capacitating them will involve workshop training, either on a large scale or small scale. Then there is also need for human, material, and financial resources to translate innovation into practical activities for implementation. The following are the suggestions on how to surmount the challenges that were raised. Now, our institutions will have to integrate distance learning into the conventional face-to-face mode, channel more resources to build staff capacity. Funds must be provided to encourage collaborative, innovative research. Constitute a committee of eminent researchers to serve as an advisory body to develop guidelines on innovative research and prioritize areas of relevance. I want to emphasize here that we should begin to look at action research. Action research is very important. It's very important because it is a philosophy and methodology of research generally that is applied on the social sciences. It seeks transformative change through the simultaneous of taking action and doing research which are linked together by critical reflection. Encourage international organizations to assist in training academics and professionals. Public and private collaboration in the provision of resources that will sponsor and enhance the development of innovative research in higher institutions. I want to conclude because I don't want to take your time. You know, we are in the era of technology. And so we don't talk so much and we don't waste time nowadays. As a result of that, I want to conclude by saying that rethinking education and research is indeed important now and in the future. And ODA has emerged as a saving grace. Managers and practitioners in the education sector should ensure that their energy is directed to the development of ODA. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you very much, Professor. I think participants can agree with me that Professor has taken the least time, but to pass a very important message, in particular with regard to rethinking the type of research now and in the future. And in that case, we need as professors to be very worried about how we can prevent plagiarism now that the student body is much aware of what is going on given the technology available. Professor, you have talked about a challenge that leadership in universities must be ready to be innovative, and that this innovative research needs understanding, and therefore the staff should be should be capacitated. And that's where Beatrice Muganda comes in through BEDO, Pedagogical Leadership in Africa. And that there is a key thing that you've come up with, Prof, and that is that we should constitute a committee of eminent researchers like Professor Njoroge, Professor Rotimi Ogidan, Professor Nasuma, and everyone here who is a scholar to be able to act as to be able to serve as an advisory body, because in a country like Kenya, we are not taking research seriously. We have not given enough budget to research institutions, that is higher education institutions, because we do not understand the meaning on the importance of research. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, it's now a session for questions and answers. This question and answer session will involve all the past speakers. I want to start with the first speaker, who was Mary Oko from the Unit of Distance Learning, University of Pretoria. We came to Dr. Beatrice Muganda, Director, Higher Education Partnership for African Social and Governance Research. Margaret Mithiga, the President, Rift Valley Reading Association. Professor Jane Kerubo, Professor of Education and the former Deputy High Commissioner of Kenya in Ottawa, Canada. Then we have a very good friend from Sri Lanka, and is Ravindran Vivekananthrasa, and also Alice Njuguna, who welcomed the great Professor Njenga Munene. And on that note, I'll also ask that you ask questions so that we get response from Professor Joshua Rotim Ogdan. So this is the time for questions and answer. But I will start, Professor, by asking you, Professor Ogdan. I want to ask you one question.
Thank you.
You stayed here for 10 years.
Yes.
In Kenya.
Yes.
Share a little bit of experience about your interaction on matters research in this country. And in particular, when you talk of innovative research and the technology development in Kenya.
Thank you, sir. I came to Kenya in the year 2010 on October 10, and I eventually left Kenya in September 2014 and 2020. Immediately I arrived, I was so glad because there was light, water was running, and so I would not have. I knew I would not have problem of light, because here in Nigeria we are still having problem of light. I was so happy. It was like a day of Christmas to me, because I knew there would be opportunity for me to carry out research, and I started. And I started publishing in international journals and local journals, people in Kenya. Now, since we were hosted by the Egerton University, I started bringing in colleagues from Egerton University. I'm sure Dr. Ngumi is there, Dr. Feda is there, Professor Changieyo, and so on. I made sure that we carry out research together. I also made sure that when they carry out their research, the outlet for publishing it, the researches were provided. They also did not just carry out research like that. There were opportunities for me and them to discuss this research problem. How do we go about it? And we will discuss, we will argue about the methodology, we will argue about the instrumentation to ensure that there is reliability, there is validity. We will argue also about even the analysis of the data collected. And with that, some of them were able to publish. And I also explained to them that action research is very important in what they do in their institution, so that they will be able to improve on the daily activities in their institutions. And I did not even just stop at Egerton University. I'm also a member of the Education Management Association of Kenya, through which we are able to interact and able to meet friends. I also made sure that I invited them to international conferences, and I also post messages to them about the Commonwealth of Learning, the PCF 8, PCF 7, PCF 9. Now we have PCF 10, in order to ensure that I encourage them to be able to carry out research, to be able to interact with other partners across the world. My experience in Kenya was wonderful. In any case, I also have permanent resident permit in Kenya. So this means that I can visit Kenya anytime, and I can also meet colleagues as I continue to share with them the state-of-the-art information on how to carry out research. Thank you.
Many thanks, Prof. Now, can I hear the participants now giving their comments and clarifications, or maybe inquiries, or possibly asking questions? DVC Zetech University, I can see you are ready to ask a question. Go on.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Professor, for your very stimulating talk. In your view, Professor, what do you think is the real future of distance education in Africa? Is it that we have just gotten a jolt due to COVID, or is it something that you think will stay with us long after this is gone? Thank you.
Thank you.
Very well. Thank you very much.
Question.
Very good question.
The future of distance education is very bright. It is very bright because it keeps improving. The methodology, the practitioners, there is opportunity for workshop training. For example, the Commonwealth of Learning is coming up with a workshop training to capacitate some members in the Commonwealth in Ghana. Another one is being planned for Cameroon. So in a situation where there is opportunity to train, to continue to exchange ideas, knowledge, and interact with distance education institutions from across the world, like in September, between July and September last year, I organized and facilitated training for teachers in Africa. There were 1,760 teachers that were trained. It was sponsored by the Open University of the United Kingdom. So there are people from Kenya, people from Ghana, people from Cameroon, people from even Mozambique. So where there is training, where there is opportunity for interaction, and where the government is interested, definitely there will always be improvement on the infrastructure to be used in development, improvement in terms of the understanding of the practitioners. And so distance education has a very good future. I'm confident that it has a very good future. Don't forget that in my university here in Nigeria, we have produced the first PhD graduate, who happens to be Dr. Olusegun Aremu Obasanjo. And he did not say because he was the president, he would not do what was necessary. He went through all the rigors to even gathering of data, analysis, and even the way he produced his final thesis. So with this, when we try to bring in important people in the future, I mean the society, to embrace distance education, definitely there will be improvement, and definitely there will also be for distance education. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very well. Excellent. I hope DVC, you are satisfied with that answer. I
Very
can
much.
see this is Muganda. No. John Wanyongo, your hand is up. John Wanyongo.
Thank you, sir.
Wayongo. Sorry. Yeah. Go on. John, go on. John. We have lost John. Can we have Jane Kerubo, Professor? Go on.
Yes, thank you, Professor Rutimi, for that good presentation. I'm just curious. I'm not sure if I missed. How did Nigeria universities or schools cope, given that there is a problem with lighting during the COVID? Do you think students or universities were able to carry on? Just briefly. I'm sorry if you said it and I missed it.
I also wanted to hear that. Go on, Prof.
Thank you, Professor, for that question. Most of the time, we try to contextualize the mode and the method of the operation in distance education. Nigeria uses, the National Open University of Nigeria uses blended mode. And so, and again, there was no total lockdown in Nigeria. However, most of what we did were on online. And it is not as if there is total blackout in Nigeria. It is only light comes in sometimes and there will be no light. So people were able to charge their gadgets, either their phone or their computer. And in addition to that, like in my home now, my home is solar energy fitted. So we have many Nigerians who are enjoying the solar energy, and we can power whatever gadgets they are using. So that is how we are able to cope.
Thank you very much, John.
Yes, Dr. Karanja, do you hear me, Dr. Karanja? Hello, Dr.
Yes,
Karanja.
This is Professor Henry Onderi. Go on.
Yes, do you hear me, sir?
Yes, go on.
Thank you. My name is Dr. John Wayongo. I'm a lecturer at Bomet University, that's in Kenya, for the sake of Professor Okidan. And particularly in the School of Education. I'm also in charge of the Quality Assurance and Data Management Unit of Bomet University College. I wish to thank all participants and ESSRAK and Zetech particularly for this opportunity. My question to Professor Okidan is one. He's talked elaborately about distance learning in Nigeria. My question to you, Prof, is how do you ensure quality in distance?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Do you hear me? Hello, Prof?
Hear you.
John, you
Yes.
cannot be heard.
Oh, sorry.
What was your question?
My question was, how does Professor ensure quality in distance learning in Nigeria? Maybe he can share with us his experience, because the distance learning as opposed to face-to-face learning is slightly different. How does he ensure the quality of teaching and training in distance education?
Professor, did you get the question?
Sorry, I cannot hear you, but I.
The question is, Prof, are you hearing me?
The issue of quality, I have captured that.
Yes, yeah.
I've captured the question on quality assurance.
Go on.
Which is the other question?
No, that was all. That was all. It was all about quality education. How do you ensure quality on distance learning education?
Can I go ahead and answer the question on quality assurance?
Go on, Prof. Go on. Prof, Professor Rotim, are you hearing us? Professor? Okay,
yes.
Apparently, are you hearing us?
I can hear you about the question on quality assurance.
That was the only question. Go ahead. How did you ensure quality in education in your country during COVID-19?
Yes, thank you. I was the executive director for the African Council for Distance Education, which was, the headquarters was hosted by Kenya and by Egerton University before, but now in Kenyatta University. And when I was there, we were able to enjoy support in terms of funds from the distance and from the Department of Higher Education in South Africa to develop quality assurance toolkit with which higher education institutions in Africa where ODL is practiced will be managed. And we had a director. And we also ensured that all the member institutions in Africa that are members of ACDE, they created quality assurance units in their institutions. And we also hold meetings 4 times in a year to listen to their presentations on quality assurance, the challenges they are facing, and how they have been operating. And members are also able to contribute on how there can be improvement on what they do. So essentially, we have quality assurance toolkit. Hello?
Yes, go on, go on.
Hello, we have a quality assurance toolkit that is called ACD QA that is in place. Similarly, there is another quality assurance tool that has been developed by the African Union, because we also interact with the African Union. So we try to use the tool, but primarily all institutions that in Africa that are members of the ACD, they have access to the quality assurance toolkit, and which I'm ready to share with you after this presentation so that you will look at it. And also we ensure that quality assurance units are created and they are functional in each of the institutions where there is ODA and that also happens to be members of the ACD. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you so much. I hope you are satisfied with the question. Yes.
Sorry, I need to mention something.
Yes.
What I want to mention is that we also make sure that our members, African members of the African Council for Distance Education, that they interact with the national regulatory authority in each country. For example, in Nigeria here, the NUC, which is the National Universities Commission, has access to the our program, has access to the quality assurance tool which we use, and they have been able to merge it with their own. I'm also sure that the Open University of Tanzania has the same in place. The Open University of Sudan has the same in place. That of South Africa has the same in place. Mozambique also has the same in place. So we interact with the National Regulatory Authority so that our activities will not only be recognized, but they will be able to showcase it. Thank you.
Many thanks. Now, with that, I want to have the following ask questions very quickly because time is not with us. Dr. Karanja Daniel, you ask a question, followed by Dr. Samuel Njoroge, and then finally with Dr. Beatrice Muganda. Go on in that order.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Prof. Yeah, Professor Ogidan, we all know you.
I can't hear you.
Yeah. Oh my.
Can you hear?
Is there a problem? Are you hearing, Prof? Okay,
I
go
can
on
hear
then.
you now.
Very well, very well. Professor Ogidan, we all know that you are a guru in this area of open distance learning. I have two questions very fast. One, what are your views about the digital pessimists in education, and what can be done to show them that the world or the future of education is blended? Because as far as you're concerned, there are so many pessimists still in our institutions. Number two, what are you doing? What are you and your peers doing about research in ODR? You know, actually, you agree with me that there is a serious dearth of literature in this area, research in ODR in this part of the globe.
Yes, I can hear the first question which you raised, and let me answer that one. The pessimist will be enlightened by ensuring that there is constant interaction between practitioners of ODA and the confessional system. The confessional system and the ODA practitioners, there should be a forum where they will interact, where they will carry out research either together or publish in each other's journal. And when that is done, they will begin to understand that ODA is not in any way inferior to the confessional system. In fact, most of the course materials which we use in the National Open University of Nigeria are being shared by other universities and they're also on our website. Our course materials are on our website. Information about practitioners are on the website. We carry out research together. We also publish in each other's journal. And there is also opportunity for our students to compete. For example, it was the National Open University of Nigeria law student that won a competition that took place some time ago. And our law graduates are also accepted in the law school in Nigeria so that they can become professionals. They can appear in the court. So, and then again, we also don't do things on our own. Our students, they go for internship. Our students, they go for practicals. Our students, they visit hospital, those that are studying nursing. And through that, they're able to know the quality of what we do in the National Open University of Nigeria. In fact, presently, National Open University of Nigeria does not have any problem when it comes to recognition, because many of them are really coming to the National Open University. Many of the institutions are now coming to National Open University of Nigeria to seek assistance on how they can blend their own confessional method with the ODL. So through this, the pessimist will understand, the pessimist will embrace, the pessimist will also imbibe the tenets of the ODL, and that is in the digital world. Thank you.
A pessimist like Daniel Karanja would understand and embrace technology. Thank you very much. Now, the aspect of the second question that Karanja asked was the data of knowledge in this area of ODL. What are you doing? You are a guru in that area. What are you doing to mobilize researchers all over to get to do research on ODL? Professor, go on.
Thank you. There is, like I said earlier on, that the African Council for Distance Education is a body that coordinates activities of distance education institutions in Africa. And as a result of that, there are meetings.
Prof, we have lost you.
There are also meetings of the heads of quality assurance unit. There are meetings of, we call it technical committee on collaboration that takes care of research. And because once the vice chancellors come for the meeting, it is usually the meeting of head of research, head of quality assurance, head of ICT, and head of database that will precede the meeting of the vice chancellors, so that at the end of the day, whatever decision is taken, we will discuss it and they will be able to put it into practice. So, and we also interact with other ODA institutions from across the world, like the Open University of United Kingdom, like the Shanghai Open University, like the University of Maryland University College, and we also enter into collaboration with them. In fact, it was the African Council for Distance Education that helped the African Union to establish the Pan-African University and e-learning, Pan-African Virtual and e-learning University that is in Cameroon presently. So with that, there is no way by which members will not understand. There is no way by which the knowledge of members on ODL will not improve, because they have opportunity to meet experts, to interact amongst themselves, to ask questions and solve the problems together. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you so much, Samuel Njoroge. Go on.
Thank you so much, Prof. My question or observation is actually towards Dr. Muganda Beatrice, Mama Pesga, something like that.
Pedo is Mama Pedo.
I can hear you.
Yes. Now,
sorry, I cannot hear you.
Oh, you cannot hear me?
Professor Otim is not hearing you, but the question is directed to Dr. Beatrice Muganda.
Yes, that's Prof.
Go on.
Now, they are doing a very good job on uses of technology and enhancements of teaching to enhance teaching and the learning outcomes. My question is, you have started at the university level and you're doing a very commendable job. What are your future plans to cascade this down to the secondary schools and finally in primary school, especially in the wake of CBC in Kenya? Thank you.
Excellent question. Dr. Muganda,
Yes.
are you in?
Yes, I'm right here, Papa Pedal.
Oh, Mama Pedal, go on then.
Yes. Yes, thank you very much for that good question. You actually are just seeing our strategic direction. So the beauty with Pedal is that it's very versatile and it can actually be scaled across the entire education system. So for example, we started with the social sciences, but due to demand, we were able to spread to the arts and humanities and STEM. So just to give one example, we are actually working very closely with the Ministry of Education in Kenya, and we are going to partner to try and see how we can work together to access the Global Partnership for Education Fund, which will then enable us to scale our activities into the basic level of education. Actually, the terms we use are the same, you know, project-based learning and assessing competencies, use of rubrics, all of those are in a way being used in the CBC system. And we are concerned about the work overload. So we know that our work is cut out for us there. We can help think through how to manage the work overload so that the students gain the competencies in a very worthwhile and fulfilling manner by working with academics. As for TVET institutions, we have already trained over 100 academic staff from TVET institution with a great focus on, you know, how to integrate virtual labs and how to digitize some of the practical work that's going on in those institutions. So yes, we are growing and we welcome all of you on board. On Monday, we'll be having a very large stakeholders conference, participants, almost 800 participants from across the world. And you're very much welcome. Our colleagues here, the chair of this forum has the link. Chair, please share the link as an open invitation to all the members here. And we'll be happy to brainstorm and see how we move the good work that we are doing. That started in Kenya, across the continent and across all levels of education. Yes, and I'm also very happy that some colleagues are asking how we can work together. I'll just post my email in the chat and please drop me an email. We want to pedalize Africa, so we need all of you on board. You're welcome. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Dr. Beatrice Mugana, Mama Pedal. There was someone in Njoroge who asked you a question, and then you also wanted to ask someone in Njoroge a question. Go on and ask your question.
Okay. My question actually is to the Prof of Odell, and it is that increasingly as the face-to-face university becomes increasingly integrated with online, what is the future of Odell as a distinct education system? Because it has really been distinct, somehow even disconnected. Like we knew there were Odell students and they were almost even looked at as a little bit more inferior, like the quality of learning. But we know now that we have experienced that it's very rich and it's integrated in the main system. Your reflections, Prof, on how we can kind of integrate the two systems, but still maintain Odell. Some universities that I'll not mention that a lot of us know have already disbanded the Odell unit because of this integration. So your reflections on that. Thank you.
Go on, Professor Ogdan. Professor Ogdan, you unmute, please. Apparently, Professor Ogdan, please
Yes.
go on. Did you hear the question?
Okay. Oh, you said whether I have a question?
No. You were asked a question.
What is the question?
Dr. Beatrice, repeat
I'll
the
go
question.
again very briefly.
Yeah.
So now that we have the online being increasingly integrated in the main education system, Some universities are actually disbanding their Odell units, universities that some of us on this forum know, we shall not mention. So what is the future of the Odell as a kind of independent unity of this of the university system?
Thank you. I need to mention that given the kind of challenges that we have in Africa, it is not likely that for now, it is not likely that Odell will be able to stand completely alone. It has to be in blended form. The confessional system has to be integrated. I mean, the Odell has to be integrated into the confessional system. And for example, about 2 weeks ago, I was given an assignment by the National Universities Commission in Nigeria to visit Ahmadu Bello University, which is one of the foremost universities, to go and assess the e-learning preparedness. And one of those things that I saw was that they have started the e-learning activities with the postgraduate students. And that is the way to go. Gradually, people will now begin to see that there is quality in what they do. But essentially, it has to continue to be in blended form. The undergraduate students still enjoy the face-to-face. The postgraduate students are now on e-learning. And there is another unit that is completely on e-learning. That is for those learners that are at a distance. So there is, for now, I don't believe that the confessional universities should close down or should wind down. They should continue to appreciate the opportunities that are in the digital world. And gradually, they should continue to introduce ODL. Now that learners are very mobile. For example, somebody can be in Nigeria and be learning in America. Somebody can be in Kenya and continue his study in Nigeria. And it is only ODL that can, it is only the digital world that can provide such an opportunity. So let us continue to integrate the two. Let us continue to appreciate that our confessional university have to continue to exist side by side with the ODL institutions. Thank you.
Many thanks. Thank you very much, Mama Pedro. I've seen a question, but it's a very long one from Malawi. And it is asking in brief that how can one stimulate more support towards research and also usage of research information as vital reference materials? That is from Maimbolwa Muliwana. Prof, okay. Are you able to answer that now? That will be the last question.
Sorry, can I continue?
Yeah, go on.
Hello?
Yes.
I can't hear you. Can I continue?
Go. Yeah, carry on, Prof.
Yes, one can actually stimulate research by having a mind that is active. When we wake up in our homes every day and we go out and we reach our institution, there will always be a problem to be solved, researchable problem to be solved. And that is
we have lost you, Prof. Prof, we have lost you.
When we interact with them, definitely we'll be able to see the opportunities that are in research, and sometimes, in fact, how such research that we want to carry out can be funded. Another way is by being alive in interacting with our partners. When we go to the internet, like presently, the Commonwealth of Learning is holding the PCF 10. I think that one will be in Canada also. And the truth is that it has given opportunity for certain number of people who are able to turn in their articles in good time, will be reviewed. And once it is reviewed, it can also be funded. So apart from Commonwealth of Learning, UNESCO, and so on and so forth. So when we have opportunities like that, we may even be able to spread it out to other colleagues so that we have an opportunity of coming together and such. And even to the extent that we can also have longitudinal research that lasts for a very long time. So there are opportunities. There are opportunities for stimulating research.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think colleague participants, ladies and gentlemen, scholars.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Okay, Prof. We are saying
Sorry,
thank you so much. Okay. Are you hearing me, participants, those present? Are you hearing me?
I can't hear you.
We are getting you loud and clear.
Okay, okay.
We are getting you loud and clear.
Thank you, Dr.
I can't hear you.
Thank you, Dr. Gadi.
I posted a question and it has not been addressed.
Oh, where is it now? Can you ask it verbally instead of posting it, Doc?
I just wanted Professor Ogidan to tell us how they avoid cheating in exams.
Now that he's not hearing you, how do we answer this question? Can we maybe post it? Or he has heard you? Okay, okay, go on.
Yes, cheating in exam has been addressed. There are two ways. Presently, I've taken permission from colleagues to attend this conference because we are having what is called POP, pen on paper exam in my study center. And that exam is taken across the centers that we have in Nigeria. And how is that one, how is cheating addressed? One, there are guidelines. Two, questions are sent by email to the director. So the question comes to me with the code that will be used to open the question and then print out the question papers. And there are invigilators that stand by. So that is written face-to-face in the study center. That is POP, pen on paper exam. The other type of exam is what is called e-exam. It is a computer mediated exam in the sense that all learners, they come to the study center and they write exam and they get the result immediately. So there will be no opportunity for cheating, particularly in the present one, the exam is timed. And secondly, it is also in the presence of invigilators. Another issue is that
hello, can we? Is someone who is interrupting?
Should any learner decide to write the exam at home, there is also very serious software that is being used to ensure that if learner cheats, it will be recorded. If you move your head, if you move your hand, if you move your body, if somebody comes in, if somebody is talking to you, if you look up, it is also being recorded by the computer. That is in a situation where a learner decides to write the exam at home. So there is no way by which there can be cheating. The only aspect where I think cheating may be possible is in the final project, or they are working on their thesis. But that is also difficult because we do know that even when one is carrying out research, one needs to interact with colleagues. And so should any learner decide to give it out to somebody to write and later present it, such a learner, some learners are being called to defend their work. What is the title of your work? What is the problem of the work? What are the hypotheses? How did you gather data? How did you analyze the data? Now, what is the result? Now, what is the conclusion? So questions like that will be asked. And they can even ask them questions on the kind of the literature which they consulted for literature review. So learners are being invited to defend their research work where there will have been cheating. But concerning cheating in exam, it is very difficult. We know that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Many thanks, Prof. Because of time, I think Esther, you wanted to say in 1 second something. 1 second.
Prof, just to thank all participants. We have picked on all the questions. And any that has not been addressed, then we will be able to share with the presenters specifically, and then you will be able to get a reply in the course of the day. Thank you so much.
Many thanks. Now, Pedro, Mama Pedro, you have invited us to the stakeholder meeting on Monday, and the link is there, and our number, email is there. So the event begins on 29th November from 11 o'clock East African time. And I can see in Zimbabwe, no, in Malawi, it is around 9 a.m. Nigeria, 8 a.m. and Ghana. Kindly attend. With this, I want to thank all the participants. In particular, I want to thank those who attended. I want to thank those who have given the goodwill messages. Many, many thanks. I want to thank the Professor Njoroge Munene for having accepted to come and open this great conference. Professor Rotin John or Joshua Dan, thank you for having been a keynote speaker. And indeed, you have been overwhelmed with the question. You can see the motivation people have on this mode of teaching or learning. Many, many thanks. Now we go for a brief break, and I'm requesting that we go for about 8 minutes because of time. Kindly go for Prof, 8 minutes. Prof? Yes. Yeah. Before that, Dr. Karanja has an announcement to make.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Professor Nderi, for that wonderful session. Now, great participants, we shall break as we've been told by Professor Nderi for 8 minutes so that we can save time. And before we break, I'm calling Mwangi, IT support, to advise us how we shall be coming back. Mwangi, are you there?
Yes, Doc. Allow me to mute one device. Yeah. So how we will be joining back is we will come back to this main session. And I think once we join this main session, we will now go into our breakout rooms, which are for as the program guides. So as you get in, you will find the rooms readily opened. So I wish I can just share my screen so that I show you what you will get to see on your end. So. Okay, so once you get back on your laptop, down there on your Zoom, you will get to see this icon, which is currently not there, which is basically a breakout room. It's an icon for the breakout rooms, and you will be required to click on this icon. Then once you click on this icon, it will give you the 4 rooms that we do have right now. So we have room 1, room 2 for education, room 3 for social sciences, and room 4. So you will basically be required to click on join. You select on any that probably suits your expertise or your interest. So you click on join, then it will take you to that room. And with that, I'll be just around the corner supporting those who probably will have some few issues. Then once we get to the rooms, of course, we will be well guided by the various session chairs in those rooms. So with that, Daktari, I hope you are all well guided.
Thank you, thank you. Now our minutes are reduced to 6. Kindly don't leave Zoom. Take a break of 6 minutes. Let us come back. Great members. Thank you.
Dr. Karanja.
Yes.
Dr. Karanja, excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes.
This is a virtual conference. Are we going to have virtual tea break, virtual lunch, and everything virtual?
Yeah, this is virtual. Let us have it.
Thank you, Daktari.
Conference, we could see scholars tearing down papers, adding value, adding input, and we have all learned something new, and we really appreciate this. So we would like to conclude this session very fast because time has not been on our side. And well, let me confirm that my reporter, Engineer Rook, are you there?
Yes, Dr.
The reporter is Engineer Rook Toroitich, a member from the Rift Valley Reading Association. Karibu sana, be ready as we go through this particular session. Without taking time, we want now to give this particular opportunity to our conference evaluator to give the conference evaluation remarks. This is none other but our very dedicated scholar, a renowned scholar, Professor Duncan Nasuma, Vice Chancellor, African International University. He was with us in our first conference. He did a very good evaluation of our conference, and we invited him again here because he really added value, and he is also going to add value to what we have been doing. We has been visiting different rooms. We could see him come in, observe what we are doing, and he was making notes, so that in a conference like this, we want to get that feedback because we want to grow. And we also want, as an association, together with our partners, Zetech, Rift Valley Reading Association, to do things better in our next conference. Professor Duncan Nasuma, feel welcome. Karibu sana, and take a few minutes to give us your conference evaluation remarks. Karibu sana, Professor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor, for those remarks. And good evening, everybody. It's good
evening, Prof.
It's good to have been with you most of the day and listen to the great work that many of us are doing. I want to thank the organizers once again for inviting me to this conference. It's a very enlightening conference, and I'm grateful for what is going on in our midst. I'll not take a lot of time, but as Professor Onderi has rightly said, I've been through all the rooms more than once and listened to quite a number of presentations and made observations. I want to say, having been part of the conference last year, this conference is a tremendous improvement in terms of the quality of the presentations that have been made today. And that's a great joy to me to see that there is an upward trend in the research and in the quality of the work that is being done. On our theme of rethinking education and social sciences in the COVID era, and even in the post-COVID era, we all know that COVID-19 has ushered in a heightened era of technology use. And this is not something that is going to go away in the near future. Those who are still analog may wish it away, but from where I am, I don't see it going away with or without COVID in the future. And so we can either fight it or develop ways to be able to adapt to it and take advantage of the implications it brings in research, in teaching, in work, in business, and so on. And so as we think of the times that we are in relation to our academic endeavors, the COVID era and the enhancement of technology usage at all levels speaks of the need for diversification in the way that we do things. It means we need to have ways to adapt to technology, to adapt to e-learning, virtual learning, blended learning, and even research, because today a lot of global research is being done online. The survey questionnaires are distributed online and they are returned online. So we cannot limit ourselves in terms of our research and the utilization of technology to enable us to up the game and take it not as a problem, but as an opportunity that we can be able to use as researchers. But it also speaks of adaptation. In the area of business, we have the whole realm of e-commerce, the need to adapt to it. Unfortunately, in the presentations, I didn't hear anything on that. And yet in the midst of technology, things are not the same. And we have seen a tremendous shift in the way business is carried out, not only locally, but also globally. In the social sciences, we have the dimension of virtual research. A lot of social science research has been a more physical oriented kind of research. And where we are, even the social sciences cannot escape the use of technology in the times that we are in. So as I listen to the presentations that we have had, I want to thank the organizers of the conference. I think this has been an excellent theme and an excellent program, which has provided a great opportunity for researchers to share and get feedback on what they are doing. Yes, the program has been relatively squeezed for a lot of people, and maybe down the line, with increasing interest and in the number of presentations that will keep coming in, it might be vital to spread it out on 2 days so that we take into account some of the technology challenges that I could see quite a number of presenters having in terms of Wi-Fi and even in terms of the utilization of the technology. And so as we grow, we could be able to grow together. I remember my first experience in presenting in a conference, an international conference, as a PhD student. I couldn't believe that after spending many months working on a research paper, I had only 10 minutes to make my presentation. And I could see that even with 15 minutes in this conference, it's a challenge for a lot of people. It's something that possibly we can find ways to take care of it, considering the level we are in terms of internet connectivity and Wi-Fi usage in our different parts of this particular continent. At least that would be helpful in the short run. In the long run, we should be able to adapt and be able to cope. In terms of the quality of the presentations, as I said, the presentations have been very good. And I do appreciate what is going on, even as I recognize that a lot of presenters are either graduate students or supervisors of graduate students or researchers in their own capacity. And so the presentations have been good. On average, they are addressing very pertinent issues with very clear objectives in each presentation. And so they are presentations with a high potential for application in the real world. In terms of the methodologies, the majority of the presentations are quite good. Yes, methodologies are still a challenge to a number of people, and it calls to us who are involved in teaching, in training, in supervising, to rethink our training in terms of research methodologies. I think, as I said last year, one of the major reasons why Africa research is very little compared to the global research publications is because of our capacity in research. And that is something that we still have to keep looking at closely. Some of us have narrowed ourselves to certain research methods with the assumption that they are the only ones that exist. And yet we have a wide scope of research techniques, research methods that we can be able to utilize to enrich our research and also to mentor our graduate students into research, which is a very critical aspect that we need. We had, I could particularly see problems to some in the area of defining the research design. That was problematic. It's not simply an issue of semantics. I think it is an issue of understanding what it means when you are talking about a research design, because the research design, either directly or indirectly, has implications on how you are going to analyze your information that you collect, and ultimately the conclusions and recommendations that you draw out of it. The other thing that I could see within the methodology is justifying the sample sizes used. That is still a problem. Maybe it's time to think closely to see how best to be able to justify the sample sizes that we use. I think in some cases, it's just a tossing of the coin, which may not have much weight in terms of objectivity. My urge, I think, to ESSRAK organizers, together with other organizations and other institutions, is to consider running training workshops on research methods for researchers as a way to build capacity in this particular area, so that maybe we could take a day before the conference to run some workshops on research methods to help a lot of our colleagues that often are struggling in that particular area. A number of general issues that I would like to briefly speak to is, first of all, the issue of dissemination of research findings. We do recognize that a lot of research is done, particularly in universities and colleges and other research institutions, but this ends up basically in the libraries of those institutions. Could we as researchers begin to think, begin to delve and to examine through research how best we can be able to develop a framework for disseminating the information that we generate, because we invest a lot of money in them. Yes, we might get promotions because of them, but I think we need to think beyond the immediate promotion, the immediate level of getting a degree, and think of people who can be able to consume this information, and think of the audience and possibly the stakeholders in what we are doing. It doesn't have an easy answer on how, but I think we have the capacity to think through it. Yes, there is politics, there is advocacy, and several other aspects that would come in to interplay in there. But I think the need for us to search out and develop a framework for disseminating what we come up with, so that beyond presenting it here, it looks good, it is addressing something that is critical, and that is the end of it. It may not be very helpful, because we have policymakers that would need a lot of what we are talking about, where we have got a lot of stakeholders, and addressing that issue would be very vital for us. The second thing is the issue of interdisciplinary research. Through almost all the presentations that I listened to, that is a missing link. In the global times that we are living in, we need to look beyond our narrow cocoons, subject cocoons, specialization cocoons, and explore how our work can benefit people in other fields, and how we can be able to learn from people doing research in other fields. It will enrich the research, it will challenge us to do more than what we can be able to do. You'll find that for most research funding at global level, one of the major things is that your research will need to be interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary. And if we are going to compete for research funding at global level, then we need to up our game and learn to relate outside our fields of specialization. The third thing is the issue of the scope of research. I observed that in a lot of presentations, the research done has a very narrow scope, where you focus on one or two main factors that interplay to give the response. Reality is that any system, whether it is a social system, whether it is an educational system or a business system, it is a factor of several factors that interplay within it. And we cannot cheat yourself that one main factor is going to lead to what we are thinking. We need to see, unless we can justify how we'll keep the rest of the factors that interplay in the system constant, which sometimes is relatively impossible. But we can look beyond a single or two factors, main factors, and enlarge the scope of our research. You know, complexity can be very threatening, because as you enlarge the scope of your research, it gets more complicated. And particularly if you are in a hurry to graduate or in a hurry to get your promotion, you will not be very keen on complexity. But complexity, much as it is threatening, it can also be very enriching in generating knowledge and expanding the research that you are undertaking. And it puts you on a level of expertise beyond the local level to a global level of expertise in your field. And the fourth thing is that we need to look beyond identifying problems. A lot of studies are identifying a lot of good problems, but we need to move beyond that and seek solutions. You know, because if we focus on identifying problems, we encourage ourselves to complain and society to complain about problems. But if we identify the problems and we develop mechanisms to address those problems, we don't have to leave it for somebody else to do it. We develop mechanisms to address those problems. And this is something that over the years I've encouraged particularly doctorate students to do. Don't simply tell us that you have found this to be a problem. Tell us how you are going to address it, because that is how you generate knowledge. So that I'm talking about us moving beyond the exploratory stage of identifying problem and speaking to the solutions, because that is what changes society. That is what changes nations, because people have the courage to not only know the problem, but to seek ways to address those problems effectively for the good of society and for the good of nations. And so even as we think through our research, as I said, I realized that a lot of problems have been identified, but very few solutions have been given to pertinent problems that exist. So as researchers, we stand in a society, in nations that expect us as academicians, particularly at this level, to provide solutions, not simply to identify problems. And the final thing is the issue of addressing training, particularly in technology use in the COVID and post-COVID era. Yes, we know that a lot of students, a lot of teachers, a lot of workers have issues with the technology. Were mentioned, as was mentioned by our main speaker this morning. We do have challenges of bundles. We have challenges of smartphones, of computers, and so on. But the issue that I think as researchers we need to look into, how can we affordably and effectively train people, teachers particularly and students, on how to use technology so that they can operate and be effective and productive in these times of COVID-19 and technology uptake. In Africa International University, we started training our lecturers on teaching online and virtually in 2013. So when 2020 came with the lockdown, we didn't have to train them afresh. They already were trained and they were ready. And some were already running our online programs. And so developing that ability, even for us as universities, maybe to go beyond our own lecturers and help out with the schools in our neighborhoods to help them, to train them on how to use this technology. But I think a second very critical aspect as we talk of COVID-19 and the technology that ensues with it is, can we think maybe not directly as people in education, in social sciences, and in business, but can we think of developing people who can come up with a technology that is feasible, that is affordable, and that addresses the pertinent issues that we face? I think we talked a lot particularly in education, on the issue of online examinations and the issue of cheating. Can we find and encourage people who can develop technology to safeguard us from that? And so we see it as a problem, but can we think of what we can be able to do about it? So as I talk about all these issues, my goal is that we can expand our capacity in our research. I do want to once again thank the organizers of this conference very much. I think you are doing a good job and impacting many, many people and expanding their knowledge through this. And I do highly appreciate what you are doing. And for those who have made presentations, once again, I'm grateful that you had the courage to make the presentations and to get feedback, whether negative or positive. It should be able to help you to grow to a new level. So thank you very much. May the Lord bless you all.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Professor Duncan Asuma. Colleagues, you can confirm and attest with me that Professor Duncan Asuma does not disappoint. He has been undertaking his role with seriousness. He has been with us all along, and you can see he really understands the entire conference, and he has given us food for thought. He has challenged us, but he has also given us hope that we still have the potential, and he doesn't want us to remain where we are. He wants us to climb that professional ladder, to climb in that area of research from where we are to a higher level of research, where we are seeing beyond our narrow view to a wider international and a wider integrated research view, and they offer solutions to the society. I really appreciate you, Professor Duncan Asuma. As I had said, he is a renowned polished scholar. He is a writer, and he is a manager. And we really appreciate Professor Asuma because we know that you are a very busy person, and affording your time, sacrificing your time to be with us today. We don't take it for granted. We really appreciate this very much. And we believe, personally, I have gained from your feedback. And I'm sure many of us and all of us here have picked a few items from your review, and these will help them move to the next level. So we really appreciate. You are a role model to many. You have mentored many, and we thank you very much for that. So as we grow together, kindly work with us as ESSRAK, together with our partners, so that we grow professionally. Asante sana. We really appreciate. I had a question for you, but you really answered it. You know, I had a question. I wanted you to tell us, one, what is our strength in this conference, and what is our weakness? I can't ask it now. You have already answered those questions. You have already brought, you showed us very clearly the areas that we are strong, including individual researchers, the areas they are strong, and the areas we have weaknesses for us to address. Thank you very much. I now give this opportunity to a number of us, a maximum of 5 minutes. If you have any question to Professor Duncan Asuma before he leaves, kindly, we want to get that. I can see a number of appreciation on the side chats. Members are appreciating your presentation. Raise up your hand if you have any question, clarification you'd like our evaluator to clarify, because he has touched very pertinent issues for anybody who is a serious researcher to grow in that area. So raise up your hand if you have any question, so that we may answer that. You can also put it on the side chat. Yes, we are looking for the side chat. I know time is not on our side. We have about 10 minutes to conclude. I will move very fast, the remaining session. I know we are tired, but we are still giving a chance to anybody with a question. I can see a number of members are giving their comments. Jane Rose Mayabi, thank you, Prof. We will now consider solutions. Great insight from Professor Nasuma. Thank you very much. From Anne Burimu, thank you very much. Any question, any clarifications? As I said earlier, we had questions, but you provided solutions and you challenged that in a great way. We look for forums because we normally have, as ESSRAK, we normally conduct sessions to train our members on research methodology. And we have seen that area of research method is still a weak one. We normally conduct pre-conference seminars before the conference. And we will, and I hope you also agree, one of these days, when we have such sessions, we can also call you to even give and share more of your knowledge with us. Thank you, members. In the absence of any questions, is there? We move to the next presenter, and I want to now. Okay, I want to see whether we have any question before I conclude that. I want to see whether we have any. John Kamau, your challenges are well taken. We will not concentrate on the problem, but more on the answer. I celebrate you. That's from Dr. John Kamau. Thank you. Now, because of interest of time, members, let's move to the next session, whereby we'll give about a maximum of 5 minutes to the one presenting the official closing remarks, and we'll have Madam Esther Mwangi. Madam Esther Mwangi is a director, research, Zetech University. Madam Esther Mwangi, please kindly give us the closing remarks for this particular conference. As you all know, we have been partnering with Zetech University and Rift Valley Reading Association together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mukuru. And I stand on behalf of the conference organizing team to give this remark. I'm honored to be the person delivering the closing remarks. And excellencies, colleagues, participants, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for an engaging dialogue during today's scholarly conference. I would like to thank each one of you for the great work we have done today. We have collaborated, we have networked, we have listened to each other, and we have achieved a lot. We have all learned. Today was a learning session from all of us, because I'm sure each one of us has had something to take home. Let's continue to work together as the person, as the Englishman once says, that united we start, divided we fall. Colleagues from all across Africa, so Zambia, Sri Lanka, colleagues in Kenya, we have all worked together to ensure this was a successful day. All messages today were greatly given, and we have listened to all of them. We need to transform them into tangible results. So we must all work hard. We must all join hands to ensure that what we've learned today, we put them into tangible results. I fully measure the terrible impact of COVID-19, especially in our sector, the education sector, and that there is no doubt left that the COVID-19 pandemic puts on hold learning and research in our institutions. However, we should not bury our hands in the sand and say it came. We must continue. At the same time, I've heard of how much solidarity, energy, and creativity there is in the education institutions to support learning and research. So we have quite a number of things we have listened and benchmarked on from all institutions. Our VC, Professor Zetech Munene, told what Zetech did. Our keynote speaker in the morning from Nigeria gave us a scenario in Nigeria and what they are doing. We want to learn from the best. We must continue. We cannot close down our institutions, and in case this such a pandemic happens again. There is no doubt that we must also act swiftly and effectively to ensure we have adequate policies in place, to ensure that our learning institutions are well prepared for such eventualities if they occur again. Failure to do so may reverse our hard-won gains achieved over the last decade. We must seize this moment to reevaluate and adapt development strategies and policies that can accelerate resilience, building and promoting a post-COVID-19 sustainable recovery. So we're still in the process of recovering, and we must ensure that we put adequate strategies in place to ensure that the recovery is effective and efficient. There's a call to support ODEL, that is open distance e-learning, supported by technology, and we must all ask our institutions, or all in our capacities, give support for this. It goes without saying that for recovery plans to be sustainable, they must be aligned with the national policies. And we're also requesting that the policymakers in the education sector must give support. They must give their support as well. Governance at all levels needs to be strengthened, especially when it comes to supporting online education in our institutions. They must aim, or the recovery strategies must aim for long-term solutions that are going to be taken to generations to come. The stakes are high, and we must go beyond immediate health crisis management. Having said this, without any doubt, all learning institutions and learning in our institutions and research will definitely be enhanced. We need to accelerate high impact investments in supporting infrastructures such as high-speed internet. We experience even now some of our presenters were having internet teachers, but it must be a national call that we must support development of infrastructures that give high-speed internet, sustainable e-learning infrastructures, and as well as renewable energy. Had a hard time answering a question on how do we ensure that we don't increase the digital divide. Yeah, for those that are in interior places, there is no connectivity, there is no power. What happens to them? Will they be left behind? So we must continue the call to ensure that infrastructures are not only in the urban areas, are not only in the big institutions, but the infrastructures are built in all institutions. At a time of crisis, our commitment to leaving no one behind is put to test, and we must ensure that everybody is onboarded in this call. So let me conclude by assuring you full and unwavering support in overcoming this crisis and their path to an inclusive and sustainable development. ESSRAK, its partners, State University put on there, all our institutions, we must all join hard to ensure that this crisis, we overcome this crisis. So thank you once more. Continue to stay safe, and remember, be active in ensuring learning and research continues. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you so much, Esther. We really appreciate. We take into consideration your good pieces of advice and appreciation. And I believe that we will continue working together as researchers and putting our synergies together to provide these solutions. You have talked in line with what Professor Nasuma has been emphasizing, looking for solutions to the problems in the society. Thank you so much. For the interest of time, members, I now want to call upon our guest, one of us from our partner in this conference. This is none other than Dr. Owen Gume, who is the Dean, Faculty of Education, Arts and Social Sciences, Zetech University. Dr. Owen Gume is also a renowned scholar, a researcher, and he is here to give us a vote of thanks. Dr. Gume, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Wamukuru. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, mine is simple. I was asked to give a vote of thanks to all of you. And on behalf of all of us, I want first and foremost to thank God for this opportunity that He has given us to be together this day, and all the efforts that have gone before this day to ensure that it is a success.
Okay,
we thank you for...
Dr. Gume, are you able to put on your video?
I am on. You can't see me?
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
And the rest see me.
Proceed.
Yes, we can see you.
Thank you.
I don't know.
We're able to see you.
Good,
why
good.
Dr. Wamukuru cannot see me.
Okay.
But he has seen me for many years. He knows how I look like.
Good. Thank you. We are now okay. All of us now are okay.
Okay.
Proceed. Yeah.
So I want to start by thanking the vice chancellors and the CEOs who are with us today. For obvious reasons, I'll start with my boss, Professor Zetech Munene, the vice chancellor of Zetech University. I want to thank him for opening this conference. I also want to thank Professor Dankit Nasiuma, the vice chancellor of the African International University, and also my supervisor at master's level. I'm happy to see you today looking very strong. I want to thank you for coming and giving us a very good evaluation of the conference towards the end. I also want to thank the chairman of ESSRAK, Dr. John Gathi, for your stewardship and your leadership, and for having steered the ship this far. I also want to thank Dr. Beatrice Muganda, who is the CEO of the Partnership for African Social and Governance Research, who was with us and gave us some opening remarks. Thank you very much. I also want to thank Dr. Mary Aoko, the head of the Unit of Distance Education at the University of Pretoria, for taking your time to be with us and giving us very guiding words in the morning. I also want to thank Madam Margaret Muthega, who is the president of the Rift Valley Reading Society. Thank you very much for your kind words in the morning and for promoting readership. As we were told that one of the things to ensure that our children survive is to make sure that they continue reading. I want to thank Professor Jane Kerubo, who was with us this morning and gave us some nice words of advice in the morning, together with the other two scholars, Mr. Lavaldian of the Open University of Sri Lanka, and Dr. Alice Jogonda, the DVC of Zetech University, who gave us very kind words in the morning. I want to thank Dr. Alice in a special way because she has been with us throughout the day and even has chaired some sessions in the presentations. I want to thank in a very special way Professor Rotini Ogidan. I've known Professor Rotini Ogidan for many years when he was working with the African Council for Distance Education. Yeah, it is good that he is still continuing with the mantle of distance education in Nigeria, and that he remembers to come back, because I always tell him that Kenya is his second home and he's very happy. So thank you very much, Professor, for coming to grace our occasion, giving us very good keynote address and challenging us as scholars on where we are supposed to take Africa next in the research world and in finding solutions to our problems. Now, in a very special way, I want to thank ESSRAK as a research institution for organizing this very, very, very good and wonderful second conference, bringing us, all of us together, those of us who knew about ESSRAK and those who did not, and for bringing so many organizations together today under one roof. It is a very good vision for ESSRAK, and we thank you. I will not forget your partners in this, that is Zetech University, and also the Rift Valley Reading Association, which has partnered with you to bring this conference. We want to ask you that you continue keeping that focus, you continue keeping the fire burning. And as Professor Nasiuma has noted, I did not have the benefit of being in the first conference, that this was a much better conference than the last one. Then you continue to organize even better ones in the future. And because you have called it an annual conference, please ensure that every year there is a conference. We will appreciate that very much as a society of scholars. I want to thank all the scholars who have presented their papers today. I was in breakout room 3. I then went briefly to breakout room 2 and then breakout room 1. And the quality of the presentations was impressive. I was also grateful to all the reactions that were there because they were really important and scholarly and aimed at improving our research output. So those of you who took their time to conduct research, to write the papers and set them here, we want to thank you. And we hope that we are going to have very good conference proceedings published from this conference so that your papers can be disseminated to other consumers out of this conference. I want to thank all those ladies and gentlemen who had the duty of being chairs of sessions and rapporteurs for steering our sessions very well. We want to thank you from our hearts and say asante sana. I want to thank the technical team, the team that was supporting our IT capabilities, for having given us a flawless system. It is really very impressive to see that we can have the kind of sessions that we have sometimes only seen in Europe, where we can have a whole day without a system collapsing in spite of us being very many. So you have done a good job, a credible job. We thank you, and you keep up with the same spirit. I know many of you are behind the scenes. We don't know your names. That is why I'm even calling you a technical team. But just know that from our hearts, we thank you very, very much. Finally, I want to thank the organizing committee of this conference. I do not know all of you who were in the committee, but I want to single out a few people whom I know were there. Dr. Karanja, Dr. Wamukoro, Madam Esther Mwangi, and Engineer Luke Troitich, representing ESSRAK and its partners, and the team that you led to steer this conference. I want to thank you very, very much for your selfless acts, taking your time, organizing us so that we have had a very, very, very beautiful day. And we want to pray God gives you strength so that you continue to do this and much more in the future. And last but not least, I want to thank all the silent participants who are behind these screens that I'm seeing here. I am only seeing names, some of the names which I know, some of the names which I do not know. I want to thank us all because we are all participants. If this conference did not have participants, it would not be called a conference. I noted at one point we were almost 80 participants. Now we are about 50, but I am sure we may have been more because some of them might have been coming in and going out. But we want to thank everybody for the part that they participated. And for those of you who have stayed from the very beginning to see the very end of this beautiful day, I want to thank you in a very special way. Thank you very much, Dr. Wamukoro.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Owen Gube. We really appreciate you have really summarized this well. You have appreciated all of us, all the partners, and everybody who has participated in this. So we really appreciate this. And we thank you for even being with us. We know you have been with us with your team from Zetech all the way from morning, and we really appreciate that. Now, members, colleagues, we want to conclude this conference in the next 5 minutes. Kindly be patient because it was a good thing. Time has gone beyond a little bit. Just be patient. In another 5 minutes, we want to be concluding. Now, I want to call upon the conference chair, Professor Henry Oderi, to make a few announcements within about 3 minutes. Then we conclude the conference. Karibu sana, Prof.
I want to thank you most sincerely, Bana Kuria Mukuru, the very distinguished professors who are here, researchers, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really excited as the chair of the conference that this conference has come this far. In particular, I want to thank the conference planning committee that I was chairing, and I want to appreciate Dr. Daniel Karanja as the secretary of this planning committee, Dr. John Kamau Kuria, Gavi, thank you very much. Dr. Kuria Wamkuru, David, Engineer Dr. Boniface Mwangi, Dr. Wer Murithi, Ms. Esther Mwangi, Dr. Duor Wabura, Dr. Samuel Macharia, Dr. Harriet Kinya, Engineer Luke Toroitich. All these people played a role to have this conference come to this far. Many thanks. As we prepare for the next conference, I want to appreciate your effort. I want to make the following announcements. One, there are some participants, for whatever reason, did not send back their abstracts after review. They will not be included. These abstracts shall not be included in the book of abstracts unless they are sent by the end of business tonight. That is today, the 25th November, 2021, meaning you sent an abstract, it was reviewed, the comments were made, and instead of making the corrections and bringing them back, you decided to hold them back. We had over 60 abstracts, but those that were brought back were over 40, around 40, 45. So we are urging those who held up those abstracts to send them to us so that we can prepare the book of abstracts for you. Number two, the papers that were presented are conference papers. For them to be published in ESSRAK journals, because we have the Journal of Education, Journal of Business, and Journal of Humanities and Social Sciences. The authors must incorporate the conference suggestions, submit the papers to respective journals, as will be advised by the Secretariat by mail, and allow the papers to be, to go through the journal editorial process as contained in the journal's policies contained on the journal website of this ESSRAK. That is www.essrak.org. So we urge that those comments that were given on the papers you presented should be infused in these papers before you submit them for further processing to be published in these three journals that we have. Number three, if successful, in that case, the conference papers will be published at a subsidized fee of Kenya shillings 7,000. Normally, journals by ESSRAK, published by ESSRAK, charge up to 12,000 shillings. That is to publish a peer-reviewed paper that successfully goes through the refereed editorial processes. But we have given a leeway that you can do so at the cost less by 5,000. That is only 7,000. Point number 4, the announcement is that rapporteurs will be required to mail well-compiled reports for their sessions by Sunday, the 27th of November, 2021. And by Wednesday 1st of December 2021, those who have successfully given out their reports and received and accepted will get a certificate for their role. And of course, this is for future recognition, having participated in this ESSRAK event that is academic and that is very important. Lastly, I want to appreciate the evaluation done by Professor Dakit Nasuma, the Vice Chancellor, African International University. And among the proposals are that we need to have a 2-day virtual conference in the future, and that there is a need to train our researchers in the area of technology so that we can enhance their capacity. On that note, I want to announce that a conference planning committee shall meet and discuss and consider the proposal. On that note, I want to end the meeting, my comments, by thanking all the participants, thanking all the facilitators, and thanking everyone who has sacrificed to be here to see this conference successful. My team, planning committee team, has always imagined that I'm too harsh on them, but I think you can see the result. Dr. Wamukuru, you can see the result. That now we have a successful conference that we can be very proud of, an international conference. Members, we shall keep on pushing that next year we shall even have a better conference. May God bless you all. As you leave this conference.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Excuse me, Dr. Wamukuru.
Thank you, Professor. Hello, who is that?
This is Luke speaking.
Yes.
We are 40 of us online. I would like to request members to switch on all their cameras, so that we can take a digital group photograph.
Very good.
Very
Tukane
good.
vizuri. Let us take a digital photo. Some have left. We were almost 50. Let us take a digital photo. So smile. Weka your smile.
And inaonekana is only Wamukuru will be seen.
No, let us put on our videos on. Thank you for remembering that. Are we able to fit into one? You take several shots.
Yeah, Dr. Wamukuru.
Yes.
Yeah, Mwangi IT was to take it. Maybe you can tell us when we are ready.
Yeah, Mwangi, are you there? Mwangi, have you taken the photo? As we prepare that from ESSRAK organizing committee, we are now telling you, if you are not a member of ESSRAK, and today you have seen the organization and the networking and the strength of ESSRAK, we are encouraging members who are not members of ESSRAK. Kindly join us so that you can be benefiting from within. Kindly contact Dr. Karanja, the secretary, the leader of the secretariat, so that you can be given direction on how to join ESSRAK, and you can contact any one of us, so that when you come in, we become a stronger association, and we will be able to grow together professionally. Asante sana. Mwangi, have you done that? I also want to confirm whether Dr. Samuel Joroge, are you there? Dr. Samuel Joroge? Can you confirm? Hello? Okay. Dr. Samuel Joroge? No problem. We'll be able
Yeah,
to.
Dr. Mukuru, as probably the person prepares, I just want us to smile for the photo.
Good.
Just smile for the photo. Let's have our gadgets well placed, somewhere in the middle. Yes, and that was the face behind the IT. Yeah, so let's smile for the photo.
Yeah.
How to what extent are we supposed to smile?
Smile until you feel you have smiled.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I've captured quite a number. Thank you.
Luke has a oh good. I can see Luke. Yes, that's good. Beautiful, beautiful. This was a good day well spent. A successful conference because you are there. You have made it happen. You have contribution, each one of us. At the Mwangi, we really appreciate. Mwangi is our ICT guru. We can attest that we had a very good support. ICT, Nobrick, and even the way he managed the whole issue and behind the scene. Thank you so much, Mwangi. We appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. So if I was looking for Dr. Samuel Joroge to help us as we close the session. Hello, members. Let us now conclude our conference. I'm now requesting for a volunteer. As we conclude, I know we have all been touched, and we are thanking God for the successful conference we have had. Do we have any volunteer who would like to read us with a closing word of prayer?
Yes.
Let me know. Do we have a volunteer?
Yes, and to pray.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Emma.
That is who?
Emma Award.
Emma Award, thank you, wonderful. Members, we really appreciate. Let us now be prepared for a word of prayer as we thank God, because without God, this conference would not have been successful. Karibu sana, Emma. Thank you for volunteering. Lead us with a word of prayer as we conclude the conference. Karibu sana.
Let us believe and pray. Almighty Jesus, thank you and we worship you for who you are. We thank you, Jehovah, for being Jireh, Lord, from the start of this conference and to the end. We bless your holy name, Abba Father, for the researchers who are gathered here. And we pray that let the knowledge that we've gathered, Abba Father, that you may, Abba Father, Lord, use it for the good of the research in this country and even beyond. We worship you, Abba Father, Lord, the glory even as we break. We pray, Abba Father, that you may take preeminence in each and every plan. We bless ESSRAK, we bless Zetech, and we bless, Abba Father, the Rift Valley Reading Association. Abba Father, that your name be exalted and be glorified, O Lord. In Jesus' name, for the pray and believe, O God. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Emma. Now, finally, members, as we now leave the conference, kindly we are doing the last activity. Be prepared, put your hands properly. Can you put your hands like mine properly? We are looking for flowers. Look for flowers, look for rose flowers. To the left, you can see a red rose, a yellow rose, a white rose. Put them in your on your left hand. Put several of them. Good rose flowers. Hand them over to the next person who you appreciate, and we appreciate each other. Let us appreciate each other. Let us say bye. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
We
Thank
can
you.
now
Bye
leave
bye.
Pressure. Thank you.
Many thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mkuru.
May I-
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
May I request the committee, the planning committee, not to leave?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
We meet for a second.
Joyce Gikandi, thank you very much for being there. Ririan, Mugire, we can see you. Thank you, Rook. Naomi, thank you so much. Namuel, Mayeka, thank you very much. Fidelis, Rosarid, Naomi, Fidelis, Simon Vega, thank you so much. Harriet, thank you very much. Edwin, Kubai, Jacinta, thank you very much. Ririan, thank you very much. Margaret, our president, thank you very much for being there with us. All through Rashid Kamau. Dr. Evans, Nyagaka, thank you very much for being with us. Thank you. Thank you so much. Barak,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doc.
thank you. Thank you so much. Dr. Rono, my friend, thank you. Thank you very much. And also sharing the session. Thank you. Ouma, Barak, thank you very much. Professor Aris Jogona, thank you. You have been with us and you really give us support. We really appreciate. Asante sana for being with us up to the end, the entire Zetech team. We really appreciate. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Evans Nyagaka can now leave.
Thank you. Yeah, share conference, you can take over, you can check whether we are okay or
Barack Ouma is still in. Professor Alison Juguna, you can leave now. We want to meet a bit. Dr. Rono, thank you very much. You can now leave. Dr. Nyagaka Evans, you can now leave. Jacinta Mangutusi, you can also leave. Nemweli Mayeka, thank you very much. We appreciate you. You can leave. Rosalie Kamau, kindly you can leave because we want to discuss one or two things before we leave. Rosalie, Nemweli Mayeka.
Dr. Karaja. Dr. Karaja.
Yes.
Yeah, you can pause the recording so that we separate the recording for the conference and for this meeting. Then you start recording for the meeting. Yeah.
Very well. Very well.